Stand English, yeah? This part that we're learning over here is a whole bunch of letters of the Chabad Rabbeim that are writing against Zionism. Why this? Now, just to make a disclaimer to explain, Zionism, what the Rebbe Rashab and the Rabbeim are excluding over here is two main nekudas. Number one is that the Medina is not in any way a beginning of the Geula. It's nicht this Chalte the Geula or Reishis Tzmichas Geula saying with the way they're saying. And this is not either even a Achana for the Geula. And also it's also not it's not the beginning of Kibbutz Golius either. Nish Geula or Nish Kibbutz Golius. They're saying Kibbutz Golius started already. Nish Kibbutz Golius.
Everybody in the community is 25 years old.
The way people interpret Zionism now, they touch it even more broader, and they say B'chlal, the Yidden should be safe in Eretz Yisrael, is also Zionism. So that the Rebbe doesn't call Zionism. This that a Yid needs to be safe where he lives. There's no difference if he lives in Eretz Yisrael. Because he lives in Eretz Yisrael doesn't mean that he can get killed. Doesn't mean that a Yiddish balut is hefker because he's in Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe was ba'ad, the Rebbe was pro saving Yidden. A Yid is a Yid, where it is, befrat, that it's Eretz HaKodesh, and it's Eretz Asher Tomed Ein Hashem Elakacha B'Mereshes Hashem Elachar Shana. So that I just say some people don't understand the chilek. They think, okay, so the Rebbe was against Zionism, so how was the Rebbe pro the army? So it's two separate things. There's Eschalte the Geula, there's the Medinas Eschalte the Geula, Kibbutz Golius, all of that the Rebbe was naked, and all the Rabbeim of Chabad were naked. They're also naked to just say, let's go to Eretz Yisrael as Eschalte the Geula. They were also naked. But if a Yid's in Eretz Yisrael already, so he has to be safe. Verstehst? Okay. So now let's see a letter from the Rebbe Rashab. Sehr scharfe Brief. B'michtav kodesh admin Rashab nishmas yedi. Baruch Hashem, it says Shabbos Kodesh, Yedalit Shvat, Tavrish Samach Dalit, Leprat Katan. This is when he wrote a letter in Lubavitch. Kvedi Didi Araba, but first of all, V'chasid Nachmod Yirei Lekim Chudum Rei Rav Merdechai Yitzchak Shichashim. Mechtava Inocha Negiani. I got your letter correctly. Oma Oid Ogma Navshi Lideis. Asher oid ha'om sheimeya el amitifim ha'rishoyim ha'mashchisim u'machablim rachmana litzlan kerem Yisrael. Very sharp lashonis over here. I was very sad to see that the nation is still listening to the people that are being mative, these rishoyim, these vandalizers, these guys that are destroying machabel, the rachmana litzlan, the vineyard, the keren Yisrael, like katzitz manitiyah used to cut up the plants, v'lintoya shoyresh poyre roish velana, to cut off the good branches and to plant very bitter plants, which is what harayon hatziyoni asher boy ral ve'eretz hamemis v'sedvis hanashama rachmana litzlan. This Zionist idea, which is a poison that kills and burns the neshama rachmana litzlan. Achrei asher kvar nizgal kloinom berabim v'kafrusam v'rishasam kvar nira v'nigla lein koil. After that, it was already revealed their what's wrong with them, berabim, and how they're koifrim and they're shoyim. Everyone knows. So this is the first nukud. The Rebbe Rashab is very sad to see that that there are people, that there's chassidim even listening to, like, to hear people are getting up and they're saying things which they're shoyim, koifrim. This is poison that burns the neshama. This whole Zionist idea. Omno midvara sherechad yotzem ma'akala dasim. The head in kibbutz kolis abavur b'sidra ben neshmas yedin. Opposing to Los Bakal Chasidim, but you're telling me that a Chassid got up and now the Alter Rebbe has a Siddur in Dach, a Siddur, and around it he has Maimorim. So someone found a Maimer from the Alter Rebbe, and he's learning out of this Maimer that it could be that there's already the idea of kibbutz golius. Says the Rebbe Rashab, anyone that looks inside these Maimorim, he sees clearly that when is going to take place this idea of kibbutz golius happens when the birurim are over, which means that in the beginning of Sheishis and Bereshis, there's oiris to Toyu, there's the lights of Toyu, and the Eibishter try to put it inside Kalim, and the Kalim were too small, the vessels were too small to handle the lights, and the Kalim broke, and the oiris were spread out all over. The oiris are spread out over the whole world, and the different things all over the whole world. So the Avodah, it says, and there's a Rapach Nitzoitzis. By Mitzrayim, it says Asauhu kemetzula shein badogim kemetzula shein badogon. They took out the Nitzoitzis Kedusha Redu. They took out 210 Nitzoitzis Kedusha from the Rapach Nitzoitzis. And all the from Yetzias Mitzrayim till now, we're busy being bavadar all the rest, these small amount of nitzoitzis that are all over in different gashmistic things all over the world. So the Alter Rebbe says over there in the Maimer that when does kibbutz golius take place? Kibbutz golius is after you finish all these birudim. Achine, we're the fourth line. Achine, in kibbutz golius, this idea of kibbutz golius, all these are going to gather together. This will take place only after we're going to go complete the birudim. That's when kibbutz golius happens. And the Alter Rebbe says again, when will kibbutz golius happen? Only after they will finish to fix whatever they're able to fix. Or Baksavim Nimtza Gam Ken Al Pasuk and Al Rashab Nembar Mafurish. And now the Rebbe Rashab says he has a Maimer from the Alter Rebbe written down, and there's another Maimer he says like this: the Osid Lavi in the time of the Gula, the time of Beis and Mashiach, Begmar Metachalis Kol HaBirudim. When they're going to finish being mavaded all these birudim, all of these sparks, to take them out of all the things that they're mixed into and all the klippers, and they're going to return to their shaydish. She's kabtu kolayis the teishan esmazeru bivchenas kibbutz v'iskalus b'achot. When they're going to gather together all the lights of Toyu that were spread out, and we're going to gather them together and make them one. As gamach hasodim shenispazeru b'shvilo miskabtu v'sasavu bivchenas kibbutz v'salas l'mikeder nachot. That pashat atkan l'sheni. All the oiris of chasodim that were spread out all over the place will be gathered together to their shadish baked. So, what's, like he says, the Indian kibbutz golius beruchnius. What's the idea of kibbutz golius beruchnius? Up to the right paragraph, the line starts off with the word apashut. If in the kibbutz golius beruchnius, who? The idea of the kibbutz golius, they're saying kibbutz golius started, and the guy's trying to prove it from a Maimer of the Alter Rebbe. So what's the Rebbe Rashab saying? Look in the Alter Rebbe's Maimer, and you see clearly that when is kibbutz golius? Kibbutz golius is when all the birudim are finished. Fin the kibbutz golius beruchnius who asivas vekibbutz nitzutze yachsodim nagam asivas vekibbutz nitzutze yagvuris. Hey na nitzoitzes te Toyu anivrorim al dei nitzoitze yachsodim v'nichlolim behem as meshkasav besider beinin v'tivche v'rebcha ma'avisecha. The idea of kibbutz golius, the gathering of the exiles in the spiritual sense, is to gather together all the lights of Chesed and also all the lights of Gvura, which are there the nitzoitzes of Toyu, that are taken out of the klippis through the chsadim. So the nitzutze hachsadim, they go and take out the nitzutze hagvuris out of the klippis. So the chesed takes out the gvura out of the klippah, and then it returns to the traditional market, and everything becomes one. All the areas to Toyu come one, and that's going to cause kibbutz golius also the gashmis to happen. Look what it says on in the Siddurim Dach. The Alter Rebbe writes on the pasuk Nidche Yisrael Yechanis. That the Shoydish, what's the idea of kibbutz golius? That's the bidur aliyas nitzoitzes to tell you, to be mile all the nitzoitzes to tell you. We're going to finish soon, yeah. Yeah, just finishing till the end of the paragraph. The Neshamis of Yidden, they are the level of Chesed. They come from the Shema of the Eibishter, the Yordu v'nislab shubulevushay noiga, and they, the Neshamis of the Yidden, come down and get dressed in levush of noiga. Because they are in the noiga, so they can take out the Netzitzi Kedusha that are in jail in the noiga. And also, when we're going to finish all the birurim, taking out all the Netzitzi Kedusha, all the Netzitzis will be gathered together, all the Chsadim and all the Gvuris, and they'll be elevated to be turned to become one. So the idea of Kibbutz Galus is to gather together. When you say it says in Piritz Chaim, when you say the Kabbalah Shefer, you should have in mind, you should have in mind that the Netzutze Gedusha that are swallowed in the Klippos should be spit out of the Klippos. And it should return to its tradition Kedusha. So what's the whole idea of Kibbutz Galus? What's the Kavanah in Piritz Chaim and Kibbutz Galus? The Kavanah is that the Netzutze Gedusha should leave the Klippos, which means, what's the whole idea of Kibbutz Galus? How can you say Kibbutz Galus starts? That's only when the Netzutze Gedusha leave and go out of the Klippos and return to the Sheder Shamakar. Till then, Kibbutz Galus does not start. Another thing that the Rebbe Rashab says over here, that if he already wants to establish his foundations for his whole opinion that Kibbutz Galus started on the words of the Alter Rebbe, he can see clearly that the Alter Rebbe himself writes that when does Kibbutz Galus take place? Kibbutz Galus takes place after Binyan Yerushalayim. The Binyan Yerushalayim kedem li Kibbutz Galus. The building of Yerushalayim has to take place before Kibbutz Galus. Like it says clearly in Zohar Parshas Pinchas, Tafresh Chav Aleph, Yoyin Sham. Let's see if we have it over here. 1 second.
When you smell it, the parts, the molecules that are going through your nose are being consumed.
No. And also it's the opinion of the Gemara, Yerushalmi, Bavli, Sukkah, Tafmamal from Aleph, Lau Kimta, the stomach of the Gemara. Hatam that Akonas, like the Gemara says clearly over there, that the simple reason why Yoim Hanef Kuli Asur, why are you not even Bismanazet to eat Chodosh, is why Hatam that the Konas Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai Yoim Hanef Kuli Asur to be Mehedi Yibana Beis Hamikdash very fast. The Beis Hamikdash will be built, and Yidden are going to be all over the world, that they're not yet going to know. That maybe by the next year, maybe you're not going to know that the Beit HaMikdash is built. It can be built by night. It's like it says over there that it's going to come from Shamayim, which means that it's before all the Yidden are gathered together and know that the Beit HaMikdash is built even. The idea of Binyan Yerushalayim, what it says in what the Alter Rebbe writes, Binyan Yerushalayim, and he brings from the Zohar that Yerushalayim is going to be built before Kibbutz Galus, even though it uses the term Binyan Yerushalayim, which L'chayri Yerushalayim, you can say maybe means the city of Yerushalayim, and maybe the Rebbe Rashab is coming to be Meramis over here, that it's not enough that the city of Yerushalayim is built with houses, with Yidden living there. Rather, the Binyan Yerushalayim means Shibone Hu Binyan Beis HaMikdash L'Asa. This is a building of the actual Beis HaMikdash. That's what it means, Binyan Yerushalayim. And after the actual Beis HaMikdash is built, then comes Kibbutz Galus. This Binyan Beis HaMikdash Yibonim Al Mailah. Who will build the Beis Hamikdash? Ashlishi, this will be built from above. The Eibishter will build it. Ki Yedua. And it's not even enough to just have a Beis Hamikdash built, which besides for the fact that it's going to be built, Malmaila, Hashem is going to build it. But the main inyan of the Beis Hamikdash is V'ashras Hashchina B'toicha. It's the resting of the Shechin inside the Beis Hamikdash. Has been in Yerushalayim, like we say clearly in Shemoneh Esrei, regarding the building of Yerushalayim. We say, you, Hashem, you should return to Yerushalayim. The ikar of Yerushalayim is, the ikar of the building of Yerushalayim is that the Eibishter will return to Yerushalayim. That Hashem should rest in Yerushalayim. And now where do we see that first Yerushalayim is going to be built before the gathering of the exiles? This is from the Zoyar in the end of Pashas Chayisara, page Kuf Lamed Aleph. It says over there, Ad Dukuchabricho Yivni Bei Migdasho Bekadmisa, till that the Eibishter will build Yerushalayim first. What's first? First has been in Yerushalayim. V'Yisak and Heichel, and he will fix the Heichel. V'Yivin Akarta Yerushalayim, and he will build up the whole entire city of Yerushalayim. Ulabos Al Yoikim La Ma'afir, and after that he will build the Heichel, and he will build the city of Yerushalayim. After that, he will lift up the whole Shechina from its offer. And this is what it says: the Eibishter will build Yerushalayim, so after that, he will lift up the Yidden from the offer. Like that's what it says, Bein Yerushalayim Hashem. The pasuk says, Bein Yerushalayim Hashem, Nitche Yisrael L'chanes. What's the first thing? Bein Yerushalayim Hashem. First the Eibishter builds Yerushalayim. And after Bein Yerushalayim Hashem, then comes Nitche Yisrael, the Yidden, the dispersed Yidden in exiles, Yechanis, who will gather them and bring them together. And the Eibishter will tell to the Yidden, Isnari, Miyafarkumi, Shvi Yerushalayim Chulu. Tell the Shechina, get up from the dust. Return Yerushalayim, sit Yerushalayim. V'yiskenash kalusay Yisrael Chulu ad kamasheni. And will be gathered together all the Yidden that are in exile. So he brings from the Zohar Parshas Chayisara one source that first comes Binin Beis Hamikdash, Binin Yerushalayim, and after that comes Nidche Yisrael Yechanis Kibbutz Golis, which means, don't tell me Kibbutz Golis started. Why not? Because we do not have yet Binin Beis Hamikdash. The Chayinu b'Medrash Hanel and Parshas told us Taf Kuf Lamed Tesam Aleph Zel L'Shaynoi Beis Hamikdash Koydem L'Kibbutz Golis. Kibbutz Golis Koydem L'Tches HaMeisim Chulat Kanashen. It says the Beis Hamikdash gets built before Kibbutz Golis, before the ingatherings of the exiles. And the ingathering of the exiles is before the resurrection of the dead. So first has been in Beis Hamikdash. The Chayinu b'Gemara Brachas Taf Mem Tesam Aleph. So too says in Gemara Tractate Brachas, page 49a. Imosei Bein Yerushalayim Hashem. When will Hashem build Jerusalem, Yerushalayim? When will Hashem build Yerushalayim? Bizman Shenitche Yisrael L'chanes. In the time that the gathering, in the time when the gatherings of the exiles, those Yidden that are dispersed, that are spread out, he will gather them together. That's the time when he'll build Yerushalayim. Opinish Rashi explains, Bein Yerushalayim, Hashem will build Yerushalayim, and only after he will build Yerushalayim, after that he will gather together the exiles. I'm sorry, Be'ez Mekamel Charesh Dezo. Perikat Beis Daf Kuf Lamed Beis Amid Beis Kasif. Azel L'Sheni. Obias Mashiach Tzarich Li's Kedim Kibbutz Golis. The coming of the Messiah, the true righteous Jewish Messiah, when he's going to come, this must take place before the gatherings of the exiles. You cannot have it in gatherings of the exiles before the Mashiach comes. Obinyan Beis Hamikdash, Obinyan Yerushalayim, Mir HaKodesh, Sheyoyri Idei HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'Shnei Morim Hu Kaidem L'Kibbutz Golis, and the building of the Beis Hamikdash, and the building of Yerushalayim, the holy city, that Hashem, God Almighty, will make it come down from heaven, from the heavens will come down. The Beis Hamikdash in Yerushalayim, to build Yerushalayim, the built Beis Hamikdash. This will take place. This is before the gatherings of the exiles. The Kibbutz Galius, and the ingatherings of the exiles takes place before the resurrection of the dead. At Kalnishari. Fahainu, the Kibbutz Goli is he Ali Mashiach. So what do we see from here clearly? That who will be the person? Why do you need Mashiach to come before? Why do you need Mashiach to come before the ingatherings of the exiles, like it says over here? Is because he is the one to do the ingatherings of the exiles. It's done through Mashiach, therefore he has to be before. Not just he has to be and he's going to be sitting in his room. Rather, he's here and he's the one that makes it happen and he does it. On the footage, who? Rebbe Rashab, Shira Shirim, Peirik Beis, Parsha Beis, Al Pasuk, Ishbait Yeschem Chulu. Like it says clearly, Rebbe Rashab and Shira Shirim, Parsha Beis on the Pasuk, Ishbait Yeschem, in Kein Lama Malach HaMashiach Bo. If so, why is the King Mashiach coming? The reason is, like Habit's called the Yosei and Shal Yisrael. He's coming in order to gather together the dispersed Jewish people around the whole world. V'chein mashma b'gemara chulin daf samach gimel avar aleph b'inyan ha'oyif hanikar erachem o gemira te'i yosef ha'arav ha'sharik osim mashicha. So too is mashma from the Gemara Maseches Chulin, page 63a, and regarding the bird that's called Rachim. How the Gemara learns over there. The Yosef ha'arav ha'sharik osim mashicha. If this bird is going to come and sit down on the floor and start chirping and making noise, Mashiach's going to come. I will whistle to them and I'll gather them together. Which means, what does it say? What does the pasuk bring us source for the idea? What does it say in the pasuk? I will whistle to them and then I will gather them together. Does it say Mashiach is going to gather them together in the pasuk? No, it says I'm going to whistle and gather them. What does the Gemara learn out of this? That if someone's going to come and whistle, you know Mashiach is going to come. How do you know that? Because the pasuk says I'm going to gather them together. When you say I'm going to gather them together, that's obviously through Mashiach. Therefore, if it says I'm going to whistle and gather, that means Malach HaMashiach is the one to gather the people. So to in Zohar Parshas Shmos, page 789, there in length he speaks about Mashiach. V'sham daf tes amar aleph chein. So to and over there he says in tes amar aleph is all shonei. V'hu yema malka Mashiach shari v'yichaneish galusa misefi alma at sefi alma chulu at gana shonei. And that day the King Mashiach is going to come, and he will gather together the exiles from one end of the world to the other end of the world. Which means, who is the one that's gathering in the exiles from one end of the world to the other end of the world? This is the King Mashiach. And the Rambam in Hilchos Malach, chapter 11 writes, the King Mashiach is going to get up. So first of all, you need Mashiach to come, and he's going to bring back the Davidic dynasty. He will build the holy Beis Hamikdash, the temple, the third Beis Hamikdash. What do we see from here? These 2 points that Rambam makes clearly, that Melech HaMashiach has to come before Kibbutz Galius. Melech HaMashiach has to build a Beis Hamikdash before Kibbutz Galius. You need to have a Beis Hamikdash before Kibbutz Galius. And Melech HaMashiach is the one to do Kibbutz Galius. And after that, the Rambam writes on Allah Chadal, the king's going to get up from the house of David, which he toils and paid and is occupied in the fulfillments of its commandments, just like David, his forefather. He will build the Beis Hamikdash in its place, and it will gather together the exiles. Which means that in the Kibbutz Galius, we see clearly from this Rambam that the gatherings of the exiles will take place through Melech HaMashiach, and also it will take place only after the Beis Hamikdash is built. I will say for Tzeder Laderech. Memhei Perik Emul Chasav. Model Shonei. Va'omar Bavur Mashiach. V'derach Chochav Miyaakov. V'avur Mashiach Kabetz Nidchei Yisrael Miktzei Haaretz Ad Ktzei Haaretz Chul Ad Kam Hasheni. Over there it says clearly in the Sefer Tzedel Derech. On the Pusuk, Mashiach is compared to a star that flies in the sky.